this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your trust accounting for a contract, how to create the ledger, and how to record all the transactions related to that contract. You can get into contracts in a number of different ways. One way is you can click on contracts on the left-hand side, and there you can create contracts either attached to listings in your system, or you can create contracts for properties that aren't listed in your system. The other way is if you go into an existing listing and then click on contracts at the top, and this will show you any contracts that have been created for that listing. You can also click on add new contract to create a contract. In this instance, we're going to go into an existing contract for this property that's just sold. We'll click on view. Over here, we have the trust accounting tab. When we click on that, it detects that there's no ledger currently created for this contract. So it allows us to create a new ledger account. So here we select from the drop down the trust account we want to use. And then under here, it automatically fills in the details of who the vendor is. And that's based on what's set on the contract. It will also fill in any other details related to the contract, such as the legal name, the company name, address, etc. that's related to that particular contact. So we haven't got a legal name here, so we'll just give that one. We'll just leave all this blank for now. Bank details, this is where you put in the vendor's bank details. Once you fill in all the details, just click Add Ledger Account. That's now created a new ledger account for this particular sale of this property within the trust account that I've chosen. Here we have two options. We can add deposits or add payments. So first we're going to add a deposit. So we'll say this is the initial deposit. We can specify that they've paid that deposit in cash, it's received from this person, and it automatically fills in the details of who it's received from, the property details and the description and the amount. And this is all coming from, if we jump over to the contract, we can see we'd already filled in the information on what the deposit amount is, the initial deposit, who the vendor is, who the purchaser is. So if we pop back to this screen, you'll see that's all automatically filled in from the contract. You can override that if you want. Say for instance, if you're receiving the deposit from someone that's not the purchaser, you can put that in there. If you want to generate a receipt at the end of it, then you just make sure that you tick this box. If you don't tick this box, it won't generate a receipt, but then you can come back at a later date and generate receipts for any deposits at any time. So here we're just going to click on continue because we want to generate a receipt. And here we select who the agent or the staff or salesperson that received the deposit, and then who to email the receipt to. And then you can just click email receipt. As you can see here now, this says that the receipt has been sent via email, and then it shows us this initial transaction, shows it's a deposit, who it's received from, the description of what it is, the credit amount of $1,000, and the balance of $1,000. The next thing we're going to do is add the remaining deposit. So here we click deposit. This automatically detects what the deposit is minus the initial deposit that's been paid. You can adjust this if you want. Then you click on continue and you can email the receipt, or if you don't want to email it, you can just click exit receipt screen. Now this shows us here in the trust accounting that we've received an initial deposit, and it's showing the remaining of the deposit here. Okay, so now we want to add a payment for, say, if advertising's being paid by the vendor, then you can click on add payment. In here you select the payment type, so we're going to choose pay advertising from trust account. The payment method, we'll say that they're paying by credit card, paid to another party. In here you can enter in who this is being paid to, so this will be whoever the advertising is with. I'm just going to type in a contact here to select them though. In here, it automatically says advertising payment for and the property address, but you can change that if you like. And then we'll just put in, say, $100 advertising. Click save. And then you'll notice here the trust account has been updated to show that there's been a payment, who it's been paid to, the description, the debit amount, and the current balance of this trust account. Now what we can do is we can say, okay, we've received the final amount from the purchaser. So we just click on add deposit. And in here we select balance of sale. Now this will automatically calculate the amount due for the balance of sale at the bottom here by deducting any deposits that have already been received, such as an initial deposit and the actual deposit. In here we select the deposit method. In here we're going to put in that it's a bank transfer. And then we'll click continue here. And email the receipt again. Okay, so this shows us our ledger for this particular contract at the moment. It's showing here that a deposit's been made of $495,000. That brings the balance to $499,900. So if we check over here, you'll see that the sale price was $500,000. So that balance is right because it's basically the $500,000 minus the $100 here for the advertising. Now we can add another payment. So if we want to add the commission for the agent, we click on add payment and then choose pay commission from trust account. Select the payment method. If we choose bank transfer, you can actually record the BSB account number and transfer reference from when you do your transfer. If you select check, you can put in a check number and all of that will be recorded on the transaction. So here, we're just going to choose cash for now. Then paid to, we can either select the agency, so that'll record commission for the agency, or if you're paying commission to a specific salesperson or another party, you can click other party, and then you can enter in the recipient. With these fields where you enter in a contact's details, you can either start typing their name, or if they don't exist as a contact, simply click the little plus button here and you can quickly add their organisation details and personal details as a contact. Here we're just going to select that this commission is going to the agency and we'll just put in an amount of commission and we add that. That shows the debit amount for the commission. That leaves a balance of $479,900. So now we can pay that balance out to the vendor or the vendor solicitor. So we'll click on add payment. In the payment type, choose pay balance to vendor solicitor. Here we can click on check, enter in a check number. This automatically selects paid to another party because it's obviously not going to the agency, and it will automatically add the contact of the vendor's solicitor. If you choose the pay balance to vendor, it'll automatically set it to the vendor. It automatically pre-populates all this information, including the balance of the trust account. So we can just click save there. That's now created the transaction and it shows the balance is now zero. And this is a ledger account of all of the transactions related to this contract.